In the area of flogging, we are not missing anything. It's the most stubborn boy, bring them to me. The most stubborn girl in school, bring them to me. Love conquers. You can't intimidate a child that is from a gentle parenting home. You can't bully them. So they are not afraid. Even when they are wrong, they'll come and tell you. Gentle parenting is harder than the traditional parenting. Teaching, not correction. When we are old and gray, the children will want to be around. Truth is, once a child leaves your home for the university, you have lost that child.
Oh, wow.
And now that success is just like this, a child can be 10 and is already earning millions.
Beautiful people, we're back again with your Unscripted Podcast, the one and only Unscripted Seat, your one-stop shop for unscripted, raw, and pure conversations. It's your girl, Z, the Gen Z of the house, as you know. And of course, I cannot be alone in the studio. When am I ever alone? I have my amazing co-host. I have, like he likes to call himself, the Utonwa, Shawarma, Barbecue. What else do you like to call yourself?
Anything sweet.
Anything sweet.
Diabetes man.
I have with me Edafe, the mouthpiece.
Gracias.
Of course, he can't be the only one with me in the studio, because if he's the only one with me, it's going to go down. Anyways, I have the beautiful, the delectable, the one and only, Ankara Queen herself, Debby Billions. See that Billions? It is very, very necessary.
Very, very necessary.
Hello, Debby.
Hello, Z.
And of course, we cannot be alone in the studio. We have with us an amazing, beautiful woman. She is an educational consultant, a teacher. Like, she's mind-blowing. The things that this woman has done and does, oh my God. I went through her profile and I was astounded. We have Tolulope Efeturi. Hello, ma.
Hello, ma.
Welcome.
And we'll be discussing something that it is not your regular, but it is very important. Nowadays, many people raise children and they say, oh, I don't want to beat my child. Or, oh, all the suffer that my children will suffer, I have suffered it in my lifetime. Don't worry, I carry them. Please, nobody should touch my child. Please don't beat my child. Today, we are discussing gentle parenting. Is it a hit or a miss? We'll find out in this episode.
And we also want to thank our wonderful sponsors, Ico Gas and Owawa Restaurant, and also Wigs by Nikki.
Yes, we're also thanking Cherish Empire for this beautiful clothing that we have on today, and Addie's Glam for this beat on our faces. Take a look at it now.
You look yummy.
The mouthpiece.
I'm just kidding.
The mouthpiece. We
But
love you like that.
No, but you look beautiful.
Thank you. And you also look wonderful, ma.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. So, we're curious, ma. Can you please tell us, in your own words, what is gentle parenting?
Okay, gentle parenting is a parenting approach that focuses on respect for the child, focusing on understanding the child, and focusing on empathy. Being empathetic towards the child's feeling and not dismissal, not dismissing the child's feeling, which is the way we were brought up. Majority of us.
Majority of us were actually brought up with, before you talk like this and your parents are already giving you one.
Yes.
This is going on.
You are not even allowed to talk. You are just
don't count.
Your opinions don't count.
Yes, that's true. Many of us grew up in situations where our opinions don't count. Before you even speak up, you have no right to even sit down in the sitting room where your parents are there.
Like you have no right outside and you're already looking for it to behave yourself.
You go inside your room. You don't stay.
You get upfront beating. Like, you've not committed the crime, but they already beating you
for
future crime.
Mouthpiece, I don't trust you being a victim, because you seem like you were.
No, now these parents of this time, what they do is, if they want to discipline the child, they just say you're grounded. Go to your room and play PS4. You're grounded. Which room we get?
But I'm curious, Mrs. Tolu, when you say, he just mentioned grounding, do you think grounding is a viable punishment for a child?
Yes, grounding is, but you must have it must be an intentional act that must have a result. It must be geared towards a result, not just grounding for grounding's sake, or I'm grounding you because I'm angry, or I'm grounding you because I just need space or something. No, and that's where a lot of people miss it, and that's where gentle parenting is under the radar for being not good. You know, majority of people think it's not good, but it's because it's not done intentionally. You must have an intention. You must have a goal. I'm grounding you not just because I'm angry, but because I want to redirect your mind. I want to redirect your actions. Yeah. And if you want to do that, you have to tell the child how the redirection will take place, or what you are redirecting the child to. So as soon as is the word we use. As soon as I see that you have an understanding of this thing that you are doing wrong, I'm going to reverse the grounding. Or I'm going to do something to make you feel better for being grounded. You know? So you see the child wanting to holistically, not just for you to be pleased, for wanting to change
and do things better.
Wow,
that's nice. Amazing. That's really nice. I learned something as soon as
directing. No. I like the way she said you have to make them understand.
Many people don't actually let their children or let their words understand the things that they are being punished. They just punish. And I've noticed it in traditional punishing methods. They just punish, and you don't even know what you did.
You don't.
And you
most
don't know
of the times we actually didn't know what we did.
So many times.
But because they know that we are still going to do something, like using myself as an example, my mom will always spank me. This is the recent word, spank, then beat. She will beat me. Like, waiting I do. You not do anything, but you know get how.
You know go do something later. You must do something where I go to beat you.
Now, growing up as a child, there's usually this thing our parents they do. They usually use sign language. Like if a visitor is in the house, they look at you and already you understand. Now, if you're doing that to this modern day parenting, looking at your child, and when a visitor is there, they should understand that you need a privacy to talk to that person. So would you actually say, or what are the major differences between that traditional way of parenting compared to this gentle parenting?
Actually, there's a slogan that has been ringing in my head for quite some days now, which I also put on my platform. It's don't throw the baby away with the bathwater. Our parents, they did so well for that civilization that they were in. Our civilization is different, but there are still some very good things that they did. One of them is this I language. I want my children to look at me and be able to understand
this at this point.
Yes, but it's a bit difficult. I don't know how we learned it. Maybe but it's really a bit difficult telling the kids. So sometimes you have to be verbal. So sometimes I'm on the call and I'm telling my 10-year-old daughter, I don't want you to be in this call. I don't want you to hear what I'm saying. Please, can you go to your room? Sometimes I have to say it very emphatically so that she knows that I'm serious, because they want to sit in. They don't have those cues. But gradually I see she asks, Mommy, you don't want me here? And I'm like, okay, yeah, you need to go. So gradually the training is going on for my own 10-year-old daughter. But generally in schools we say that children don't really understand whether they just want to say what is on their mind. They want to be there.
They're very expressive.
But for us, it's just to be gently guiding them. Now you don't have to talk. Children nowadays don't know when to talk.
Yeah, they are so expressive. Like
they just we are talking now, and they are just shouting, "Mommy, mommy!" And I'm like, "What?" One of the first thing I check to see if you are training your child well, whether you tell me you are beating the child or you are doing whatever you are doing, is how the child comports his or herself outside, and in the presence of people. So when your child does not know these cues, it shows that your parenting there's an question mark.
It's not
because I know my 8-year-old. If I'm looking at him like this when there's a visitor, I'll be like, Daddy, what's wrong with your eye?
Then you actually need to check your parenting style, actually.
So you said to the child there and then, I will need you to go inside. That's why I'm doing that. So that next time
they know that is why you were giving that eye signal or that cue.
So Ma, what are the long-term benefits of gentle parenting?
Okay. The first one is that when we are old and gray, the children will want to be around.
Oh, wow.
If you check majority of my mates, they're not interested in really going home to
their parents. Yes,
they're so carried away with hustle. Okay, I send the money, take care of yourself. Fine. But there should be that bond. We don't, and I'm sorry to say, even though the let me say the West, they have a lot of they've gotten it wrong on so many areas. But the ones that do get it right, they get it right. You see that bonding. Some of them they can't do without their children. Yes, they maybe 80% will go and put them in nursing home and all those, but the ones that get it right, the ones that didn't give that harsh treatments, and you see their children always wanting to be with their parents, always wanting to, and that's one of the benefit of that's what we are doing. Because the truth is, once a child leaves your home for the university, you have lost that child.
Oh wow, that's a strong word.
It takes whatever it is that you have built
to bring them back home.
And now that success is just like this, a child can be 10 and is already earning millions.
True.
So before we would still depend on daddy to give me stipends, mommy to give me food stuff, even when I'm in a. Now some of them don't need those.
Yes, true.
So what brings them back? What connects them to you? So it depends on the way you treat them right now.
So really, I like that long-term benefits, because you find that many people in my generation, the Gen Zs now, they really don't, because of, I don't know about many people, but at least I know most people I graduated with, they don't want to go back home after school.
Even my own
They just want to. You find people who they graduate school and they get apartments on their own, because home was just for them was just a provision place.
And we used to look forward to leaving the house. I still remember at 16 I was already looking for a way to leave my house. Like I just want to get there.
Back to this house. Why? Because of
I did that.
Not like
how
the upbringing was, but maybe like I feel like our parents' generations, the older people, they did what suited that time that they were raising us. And I don't really blame many of them for how they raised us, because it's not their fault.
I also think at that time it was working for them.
Yes, it worked for them at that time.
But not now.
That was what was passed
on to them. Yes, that's true. That was what was passed on to them.
Now, a different thing. We are passing on something different to the next generation, but we must pass it on rightly.
So as a teacher, would you rather say that flogging a child now is wrong? Because in these are schools presently, they don't flog. They only shout. Now if you I have a friend, he shouted at the child, he was dismissed. He said, you don't talk to our children that way. Exactly. Now, in our days, if you misbehave, your parents will tell you, I will report you to your teacher. That word alone brings sanity to you. So would you trying to compare this modern era of parenting and the traditional way, would you say we are actually missing something?
Okay, in the area of flogging, we are not missing anything.
Okay.
Yes, we are not missing anything. It is in the ways that we go about this so-called gentle parenting that majority of us are missing it.
Okay.
So flogging, actually, even in the rights of a child right now, it's an abuse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hitting a child, it's an abuse. It's still permissive. as in it's still allowed or allowed here.
Yes, yeah.
In Nigeria and Africa, but in the UK, I teach children in the UK.
Okay.
It is foreign to them. They don't even have the mental picture of what flogging means.
Oh wow! So they can't relate.
They don't even know what they
can't relate. So so imagine if it happens to someone, it's a big deal.
Yes.
It's abuse of the first order. But here in Nigeria, majority of parents flog their children at home.
Yeah.
But they don't want the teacher to flog their kids.
Yeah.
That's where we are getting it wrong, one. Because the child is used to flogging. Yeah. And then it comes to an environment that they are not flogging. The first thing is they will first of all misbehave.
That's the first thing.
And they will do it to try you so that what can you do? What can you do? You can't do anything.
Yeah.
So for me, I would advise the parents, try. So I started this journey from 2008.
Wow.
Okay. When I finished my NYC and I applied to a school in Sapele, and it was headed by an American woman, a white woman.
Okay.
So in that school, you do not yell and you do not beat. You do not touch the child.
No matter the offense.
No matter the offense.
So what do you do?
It took me like a year or two to adapt. In fact, we now devise means of when you do like this. And at a time, my nails peeled a child's face, and I couldn't sleep for days because I was just waiting for them to tell me,
you're sacked.
You're fired. Wow. But gradually I learned it. And I can tell you that my 10-year-old daughter now have never flogged her.
Wow.
For
10 years.
10 years. The dad has never flogged her. I have never flogged her. We don't have cane in our house. So there was a time around a year and a half, she was very obstinate, very strong, and we didn't know what to do. At that time, all what I knew wasn't working. But we now got to understand her personality. That when we explained to her, this is the reason why you can't throw this on the floor, and if you do this, it's just as if she understood right from then, and that's what we're still doing till now. In our school, the last award she won was the best behaved in her class. This is a child we don't have cane, we don't have anything of such in the house, Yeah.
Interesting.
While she was speaking, I looked at my left. There's a mark here. My mom gave me this mark because I was very stubborn. I was like,
I just imagine she actually spoke to you. Maybe you'd have actually turned out differently. Maybe you'd have turned out differently.
And now when I go visiting, I'm like, Mom, say have fun. I remember this thing. You're like, you too stubborn that time.
I think let me say something. Gentle parenting is harder than the traditional parenting.
Okay.
Because you have to do more. You have to have this self-control. Because when they do those things, it triggers you. You are ready to, but you have to master all that to be able to get to the child and make the correction. So there's a slogan in Montessori. I'm a Montessorian. It says, teaching, not correction.
Okay.
So teach the child what you want the child. It will take a while. You'll see the attitude over and over, but they hear. There's a child I'm teaching right now. She's in 7th grade. She's in the UK, and I know she. When you say someone has attitude, when she comes on line, she doesn't greet. She's as in that this is a typical London. Those ghetto. So I said, okay. There are other teachers teaching her. So one of them was complaining to me. I said, see, that girl has gone through a lot. 1, she couldn't read till she got to grade 7.
Wow.
So you can imagine what her esteem had suffered. So all that she's doing is just a facade to cover. I said, talk to her in love. Let her know that you understand what she's going through, that that she doesn't like it and she doesn't want to show it. She will just melt in your hand. So it's the most stubborn boy, bring them to me. The most stubborn girl in school, bring them to me. Love conquers.
And that was because you've been able to
you've trained
yourself to be so tolerant.
Ma, do you think that gentle parenting affects a child's self-esteem?
Yes, it does. It does a great deal. It gives them a very great self-esteem. It makes them to be very confident, very, very confident. You can't intimidate a child that is from a gentle parenting home. Wow. You can't bully them. They know that they have backing.
Yeah.
So they are not afraid. Even when they are wrong, they'll come and tell you that I did the wrong thing, but this is what the other person still did.
Okay.
So it makes them very, very sure of the outcome of that. My parents will always be there for me. Some of us then, when we were growing, if something bad happened to us, we're afraid to even tell our parent. Some girls were raped. They couldn't tell their mom.
They had to speak
They
up.
couldn't speak up. They're afraid because your mom would just tell you are the problem.
Because of everything.
Society will also tell you are the problem. So there's a shift now into them recognizing who they want to be and who they want to be with. So when they do that, they know that mommy has trained me to be like this, so they don't go to the wrong person.
Yeah.
They are careful.
They sing songs.
Yes.
Like, if you touch my pride.
Yes.
Songs like that.
Yes.
The education now.
No, they even stranger danger. You don't go near a stranger for no reason.
All right. So, I am of the opinion that I don't want my kids to have anything to do with television, internet, because of the kind of information that they get from there. So do you think that's a good decision to make as a parent?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And I am for screen time. Will be time. I am for screen time because we know that we were not prepared for this. Yeah. Let me even leave this way. We were not prepared for computer. I'm 40. Majority of my age mates do not know how to operate the computer. Yeah, true. I remember when BB came, BlackBerry. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, I struggled. When I'm typing like this, some of my friends were laughing at me. And it was because they had exposure.
More than you.
Okay. More than I do. Yeah. And I could see the lag. Even till now, the things we could use BB to do at that time, many of us were using it 0.5%.
It was just basically
BB was messages. It was a business, as in what people like Kardashians. I got to know what the Kardashians were using BB to do at that time. The businesses, but we didn't know that. Even till now, majority of they use their phones just for entertainment. Yeah. Exactly. It's because of lack of exposure. Okay. At a younger age. If you have a child that is 3 years old now, you don't need to teach the child anything, even 2. Just give the child this phone.
And give the child the password.
In 2 days, come and see what the child is using these phones to do. Okay. Because of early exposure. But there must be regulation. Okay. You and I, we go to a company and they tell us we must have computer, all the Microsoft skills, and you don't have and I have. What happens?
They'll pick you over me.
the creativity that comes with using the laptop is different from the creativity that comes with using the phone.
Yes, true.
The creativity that comes with using the laptop is different from the creativity that comes with using this whiteboard screen, the interactive board.
Yeah.
But they are all linked. So if a child already has a device when he was 7, when he's 20 and he has to use you can imagine what he can do. So we should not deprive them. Rather, we should help them regulate. And lastly on this, let me tell you, it is better your child start regulating under your nose. Self-regulation, when you are there, helping to guide, helping to say, and then the child says, oh, you stayed on your laptop all day yesterday. Today, no laptop.
Okay.
Tomorrow the child goes to school in the uni and is tempted to be on the laptop and not go for classes. Your voice will sound.
Yes.
This is wrong. Conscience will come up. But when there's nothing like that, there was no room to display his lack of self-control when he was with you. When he gets to school, what happened? Nobody, no voice,
nothing.
So why won't I help my child regulate and use it now? Yes, we were all growing up. I don't know about you. I stole my mother's money. I stole food. I stole meat. I love meat till tomorrow. I stole meat plenty times. I stole her money. She doesn't even know how much she keeps in the wardrobe. She keeps the money. But am I a thief today? Because she helped me regulate. Whenever she catches me, whenever she will talk, beg me, explain to me why I shouldn't be that, paint a picture of what I should be, and gradually, even when I went out of her house, I used to tell people in the hostel then, I can't sleep out of because my mommy can just come. It's not that she ever came.
But you don't know. My mother has shown.
My mother doesn't. Is this where she wants me to be? When I had some few issues, she's the first call. I will pack my bag and I'm going to go and tell her all I did, the part I did wrong. So she gave me that foundation really, because she will allow you to finish. Then she will start bombarding you, but you know that you are in a safe place.
Yes.
So let them be in a safe place. Using the internet with you until they go, and they will build that self-regulation.
That's nice. So, I want to know, what is the gentle parenting point of view on spare the rod for the child? What does gentle parenting say concerning that?
Okay. Are we all Christians?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. For the people that are not Christians, they know that is from the Bible.
Yes, the biblical statement.
And when you read the Bible, you know we have types. We have symbols. So let me take you to Psalm that's also said, thy rod is a guide onto my path.
Yes.
So that is also symbolic. The same rod that says, spare the rod, is the same rod that David was saying, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So is your rod comforting the child? Or the rod is making the child to be scared of you? Scared of being authentic? We are humans. Growing up is misbehaving, let me tell you.
Oh, wow.
For you to know the right thing, you must do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
There are two sides always. So for them to know the bad, the good will come. For them to know the good, the bad. So if you say my child is misbehaving, I tell you your child is growing up. It's for you to guide, and that is the rod. The rod doesn't necessarily mean hitting, spanking, shouting, or it means guiding, correcting, helping the child to realize this is bad, choose good. And that's why God doesn't beat us.
Yeah,
that's true.
He doesn't.
Even my understanding right now, from Grace's perspective, all my sins have been forgiven.
True.
The one I committed, the one I've not committed. So if God doesn't care about my wrongdoings, but He wants me to be in a better place, why shouldn't I, as a parent, also not care
about the wrongdoing?
And want the child to be.
And love conquers. I keep telling you, love does more than your harsh punishment.
Correcting in love.
Yes, correcting it. It
Many
does
people
more.
actually don't
Parents don't believe in love.
Those
Not
are
like they don't believe in love, but they don't believe that it does more than
the
harsh
beating.
correction, because they just want to see it happen. They want to see that.
They want instant
change.
results.
They want that instant result. They don't believe in doing things over time.
A lot of
waiting.
parents
They
don't
think beating
actually
brings
correct in
results
love.
faster. No, they don't.
Most of the times is usually the women are correcting love.
Correcting love. Dads,
The men
fathers
will actually
find it difficult.
yes,
Maybe I
so
had
like you
different-
have to do
No,
this
your
like
dad is a
now.
sweet man.
You don't have a reason not to do this.
Maybe I had it different, because my dad, growing up, my dad will always tell two things. My dad will always tell me: whatever you do, it's okay. I learned that it's okay. You can come and tell my dad that my brother drove my dad's car, slammed it into somebody's shop, broke down the entire front of the shop, and all my dad said was, "It's okay." Second thing my dad will always tell me is be creative. And I see it has actually helped me grow so far. But my mom, before you even say, mommy, I mistakenly, you are gone. You are finished. You have collected, finished. And that's why I feel like many people just believe that gentle parenting helps the child to misbehave. It's not permissive.
It's not permissive. There are boundaries. You must create boundaries. You must give rules, regulations, what you must do. My daughter now, she's away for some days with my sister, and when she was going, we gave her a set of do's and don'ts to reiterate all the trainings that she's been having in it. When you wake up, sweep the living room, make sure you wash your plate just like you do at home, do this, do that. You know, when I was talking to her about it, I know that she will get there, she will not remember half of it. And she will be so relaxed that she will not do some of it. But the truth is, there is a voice.
Yes.
I am building her to realize that these are the things we expect of you, whether you are with us, whether you are not with us. So you just keep doing that for the child instead of waiting for the child to commit. Some parents are we are just waiting like this.
Make it do.
Just do. And then we come out. Some parents, parents, let me tell you why I'm so against this. I don't want to call it traditional, because traditional is not bad.
Okay.
Some parents they just believe that if I don't beat this child the way my mother beat me, it will not grow, not turn out.
That's actually right.
That's where we are right now. So they say, no, I must beat him.
Personally, I ask many people, do you think you turned out well?
Yeah, after all the beating.
I ask many people,
After all the beating.
you actually, if you ask yourself, if you do a check of yourself, do you actually think you turned out well?
So many times.
Now you are even, if you want to take food from your own pot that you cooked with your own money, you are hiding.
Yeah.
Why? Because it has been imprinted in your head
For many years.
for many years you are not free, even in your own space.
Yeah.
And that is why, anyways, we'll be fine. We will be fine. We will heal.
Readjust.
We will heal.
Yeah.
It takes healing.
It's trauma. A lot of us were acting and reacting from a place of trauma, and we didn't even know what this was.
We were traumatized.
So I had a friend talk to me recently that her father would tell her to undress and beat. And the day she told me, sadness, as in I just became sad. If I was that sad that it didn't occur to, imagine how traumatic it would to the person. You know, people have different personalities, just like your two kids.
Yeah.
The other one that does not mind whether you shout or hit him or her has a stronger personality. The one that has a not a weak, a more feeling personality. So when you feel more, you tend to be calmer. That's why women we feel more, so we tend to nurture. We are able. In fact, it said that for 2 years, that part of our brain that has connection, it's as if it's turned off, so that we can nurture and be with the child. But the men, they don't have that, so they can shout anyhow. No feeling involved.
Actually, no feelings. No feelings.
Daddy just feels that. I told you to pick it up. Why have you not picked it up? And he starts raising his voice. But I'm looking at my daughter. I'm like, she's not even thinking about the issue right now. She's just thinking about why is Daddy shouting? Why is he always shouting? Why does he shout outside?
Because of the things we think.
Oh my goodness.
It's a normal excuse when we always say, oh, we are going through a lot, we are training, we are looking for money, we are hustling.
Yeah.
But your home front, what happens at you? What is happening at home? I think we need to have a ring for the women. Yes.
So there's a 3 C's in gentle parenting, which is communication, consistency, and connection. Now, can you actually throw more light on this?
Okay, communication, as we were saying, is that you must always have expectations, clear expectations, and the child must know these expectations. You must communicate it day in, day out. For example, we want to go to the cinema. Before we go out, we are all going to agree. What movie are we going to watch? What snacks are we going to buy? Not that when we get there, Efeturi will say it is this one and because I didn't give her, start crying. You need to let her know, if we go out there, this is what we are getting. Recently we went to ShopRite, and she was all that, let's go to the toys. She was about screaming, and we just kept on telling her, we came for window shopping. Efeturi, you know what window shopping means? We came to just look at everything. When she wants to shout, we say it again, and you see, and there was no tantrum because we have been saying it from the house. So you must communicate your expectations clearly. Consequences, you must communicate the consequences. So the dad kept on saying, if you shout, I won't bring you here again. And that was how she was calm all through her stay in that place. Communicate expectations and communicate consequences. Then you talk about consistency. That is where the issue is, because today I shouted, tomorrow I don't shout, next tomorrow I beat. People need to know that you just must stand by your word. I am not going to flog. I am not going, no matter what the child does. That's tough. Yeah. No matter what it's tough.
But it's attainable.
And then, you know what gentle parenting, it makes you to be a more empathetic person, not just to your children. And also the society will benefit more. You are hearing cases of people killing people. Even I saw a child of, I don't know if that child is 13 or so now. I think just this morning, and I'm like, there's no empathy in the society. There's no, and because of the hardship, you know, it's even making people more and more, you know. So we have to train our children differently. You have to know that it's not dog eat dog. It's Montessori calls it a cohesive society. So you are working not just for yourself, you are working for the collective good of the society. You training your child well, it's not just for you, it's for the collective good of the society. We need to go back to those, and I'm of this that you are doing it. Kudos to you guys, big kudos, because recently I was like, when we were growing up, NTA used to show some of these things, films, movies that tells you don't do this, don't go out with a boy, don't, you know, we learned some of these things, even though our parents said these things were reiterating it to us, but now we don't have such again, as in our own traditional. I'm not talking about YouTube, I'm not talking, because their experience is not our experience. You know, we need to do it more, put it out more there, that this is the right way to go about things. The society needs to change, and it starts from the family.
That's nice.
That's a lot.
So, speaking of, you spoke about tantrums, you using your child as a case study.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you handle a child's tantrums in public? Use, like you said, communication, but sometimes
They don't want to hear what you want.
sometimes I know, like you said, there's no stubborn child, but sometimes these children will push you to the very limit.
Extreme.
How do you, I saw a video one time of the child was crying in public and he lifted the child up. I was carrying the child to the car and somebody asked him, "Are you the owner of this child?" And he said, "If I could pick, will I pick this one that is even screaming like this?" Of course it's my child. I would have not picked this one. So how do we handle tantrums? Because I don't have a child yet, but I have nephews and nieces and I intend to have children. So please tell us, ma'am.
Okay, when tantrum is occurring right now, all you have to do is zoom off, as in you need to blank out.
Oh wow.
You need to close your ears to the shouts. Because if you listen, you are going to misbehave as a parent. You're going to hit and the tantrums will increase.
Yeah.
The tantrum increases. So what I do for children and my kids, I blank out. So I had a case. My child, when she was about 2, I thought she was autistic because when she comes into a bright place like this, she starts saying, when she hears noise, she says, so I was watching out for autism. But we just found out just her personality. She's just an cool babe with a strong will. So, real serious strong will. So I now, after studying her, we were not going public with her for quite a while because of this. So when I decided to start going back to church, this particular day, she started rolling on the ground. Rolling, seriously. And I stood there and I was looking at her, folded my hands. Efeturi, are you okay? Can you get up? Then a woman came and said, will you get up? If you don't get up, I'm going to spank you. I kept quiet because I know that was not going to do anything.
You kept quiet?
I was looking at my kid. Wow. I just stood up and was looking at her. And when I could muster the strength, I would say, it's okay. Are you okay? It's okay. Can we go in? She said, no, we should go out. She wants to go out of the compound. And the woman came. She actually got up when the woman was there. And till the woman left, she kept quiet. The moment the woman was out of sight, she started again. And that was how we did and left the church that day, still in full tantrums mode. But with time, when she saw that there was no reaction, you know that she can be screaming now. And once I turned my face away, she will scream louder. I turned my face away, she will scream louder. When she has reached her zenith, she will keep quiet. And that was how we solved, and we are still solving tantrums.
There's a lot of tolerating.
A lot of tolerance.
A lot of it.
It's really difficult.
It's not the time to do power tussle. No, it gets worse.
I saw a video. The child was on the floor screaming. A Nigerian child actually screaming for ice cream. And the mom was asking her, "What do you want me to do?" And in the comment section, people were like, "You kind of that child. Would have given this child." And I kind of understood the parents because she was just allowing the child express it. You want ice cream, right? Okay, let it out of you. I think that also helps. I don't know.
But let me tell you that there's is it timeline? I would say that you give for tantrums. It's between 2 to 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
When your child is 5, 6, and you are telling me tantrum. There's no tantrum in the dictionary for a 5-year-old.
Okay.
So what do you do? There's no that you take serious actions. Grounding. Don't take the child out there in the first place. I told you we had to keep my daughter out from the public for a while until she was a bit regulated. The child should know that you are not going to that party because when you get there you fight. You will sit at home. As soon as you are ready to, I'll sit. When we go out, we'll give let's give it a try. Let's see if they will behave, man. They will behave. They will behave. If your child is still bullying, throwing tantrums, 6 years old, 7 years old, there's an issue with your parenting. is an issue.
Okay, so Ma, for those of us that are beginning to like this gentle parenting, I think I like it. What do you think are the challenges that we would encounter, and how do we navigate through all of that?
It will try your patience. Also, you need knowledge. So this approach to tantrum.
Sorry, when you say knowledge, is it knowledge of the Bible or general knowledge?
No, you need knowledge on parenting.
Okay.
You need knowledge on parenting. You have to follow parenting coaches.
Yeah, lots of parents don't do that.
You have to say, okay, this is what I did. This is how I did mine. So that you now know how to fine tune. You need patience. You need knowledge, and then you need a community. Not that I send my child to your house, you will beat the child. It's not going to help.
Yeah.
You choose your community. Okay. I won't bring my child to your house if you are the type that is going to beat.
Okay.
My sister is also an educator.
Okay.
And she used to beat children when she goes to teach them. And I told her, she stayed with me for a long time before she got married. I told her, that hand I used to beat, when you are getting into my house, keep it outside. She has never once, they are with her now, she has never once beaten my children because she knows that I don't beat my child. And I won't take my child just to anywhere just so that you talk down on the child. I am very picky about the community in which my children are being trained in. So you need these three things to make you stay the course. Because if I come to you and you beat your child, along the way, and I say, Fejiro is responding to beating. Somehow in my mind, I say, I think I let us do beating. So you must be conscious of what you expose your own self to, and also what you expose the children to. So you need patience. They will try your patience. They will try. It will try. Gentle parenting will try. It will try you. It will try. Recently, my daughter is not doing so well in maths. And I'm an education, so I have to go inside the room and talk to myself. It's not about the scores, it's about the understanding. How do I make her to understand? I was boiling, the girl was crying in the sitting room. Me, I was angry because I was like, but I came out and said, it's okay. Why are you crying? It's okay. Like you say, your dad said, she got the third in the spelling bee. That was the last, and she was so sad. I just kept on telling her, it's okay. Now let's learn from this. What should we do? How do you? Now this is what you are not doing right. This is what I had to, because she's at that level. She must know what she's not doing right, so that she can start taking responsibility.
Okay.
So. In this kind of society that we live in, where gentle parenting is not common, it's getting common maybe with the new generation parents, but it's not common. Like you said, your child was throwing a tantrum and somebody came and shouted. How do we navigate conflicting advice where people come and say, "You're beating your child"? I beat my own child. So how do we navigate that? Because obviously you're going to get a lot of people who are going to talk.
Yes,
people will talk.
People that will question your parenting.
Yes, even when you say, like you said, choose your community. Even when you choose the people that you want to be around, there are still some people that you cannot really. They're not in your community, but they will see you. They will talk.
Yeah.
There's also family members, maybe distant family members who will talk. Yeah. How do we navigate that, man?
You have to stay true to your belief and what you are doing. You just have to know the benefit outweighs whatever challenge we go through. You know the kind. So I was listening to someone yesterday. His name is Dr. Daniel Amen, and he said something. He said, first of all, what kind of parents do you want to be? You must decide that.
Yeah.
Second, what kind of children do you want to raise? You heard from that guy's podcast yesterday, and I was like, yeah, I was so happy to hear it. I listened to it very well and put it down. I said, this will come up today. Yeah, and he said everything starts and ends with what you want.
What you want.
Just like I can't take my child to a school because you said your child is in the school, which majority of many parents do. Yes. Me, I can't do that. I have my reasons for doing what I do with my child because of the end that I have in mind. Yeah. So you just must take a stand for yourself. Like, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm doing. No matter, my mom beats. And when I take my children to my mom's place, my children don't misbehave for my mom to beat, so she doesn't beat them. Okay. But I have other nieces and nephews that my mom will beat because they will behave somehow that, you know. So when we are going, or when they are going to my in-laws' place, I talk to them. I program them. This is what you do. You don't do this. This is, and you see, when I see that they want to go out, I remind them. So they don't go there and just misbehave. Yeah, so you have to.
So, from all what you said, I will understand that it all entails tolerance, total tolerance. Now, from a parent who grew up in a home differently, in a home where he or she has been seen beating, and up to a certain age till secondary school, that's over 20 years plus. Can that parent really learn tolerance? And if the parent can actually learn tolerance, how long can that be?
Okay, so I learned something along the way. Growth mindsets come to play here. And growth mindset says, I don't know how to do it yet. Not that I don't know how to do it. Yeah. And growth mindset says, I want to give it a try. Not that I know fit. Don't just give up. Don't give up. You just have to try and try and try again. Even with gentle parents, we don't all get it right all the time. Sometimes you might be too lenient. Sometimes you might be too harsh in your decisions. Even when you ground a child, sometimes you just can't. Sometimes the reason the child is misbehaving is because of an ongoing growth. Puberty, and they can't just help it. It's not their fault. Especially puberty, adolescent. It's just also these 2 years that they call little devils. It's not their fault. Terrible tools. It's not their fault. It's a growth phase. So it will pass. But what you do determines how the child grows, you know. So it's good for you to remind yourself all the time that this is my aim, this is what I want, and put it in your mind that you will make mistakes along the way. There's no perfect parenting style. There's no perfect. If you want to be the authoritarian, it's not also perfect. Because myself, as an example, I don't like anything authoritarian. I have, and maybe it was because of growing up. I have issues with any. If you want to come and be authoritative over me, I'm gone. Unconsciously, I rebel.
Wow.
As in, unconsciously, I just. You cannot say me sit down there, and I don't want to sit down. It becomes an issue.
As a mom,
as an adult, as I am, as right now, I have an issue. I have serious issue with submissive. The way African submissiveness. I have seen. If I see it, I become angered. I don't want it. So if you have a child like me, you can imagine I'm a child that talks to my dad and points at him. You said, why did you say? And he keeps on telling me, this is not acceptable. Where will you go and do this kind of thing? And till now, his words rings in my ears because my bosses that I have worked with, they know you can't treat Tolu anyhow. If I cannot talk, I carry my bag. As you're talking, I am out. I am already in my house. before So we all have things that we do. So do the children.
Yes.
So do they.
Yes.
So
Yes, like you said, your daughter is a strong girl.
Yes.
I actually see where it came from now. And now I understand. But then, are there any situations where gentle parenting just may not work?
Yes. Okay. Yes. I will have to admit that. Even in schools, when we say don't beat, there are cases we advocate you need to punish the child.
Punish by beating?
Yeah, if it's beating, there is the punishment in the setting. All these are setting related.
Okay.
And also contextual. Yeah. So you won't catch a thief and say because beating is wrong, they will first of all beat you. That's true. That's true. So a child cannot be doing something he knows is wrong, and that is very dangerous. And that's where the West, they're missing it.
Yes.
Something that is very dangerous, and you are still permissive. You are still gentle parent. You don't gentle parent. I will lock you in jail. You might be my child, but you must face the consequence first. Yes. You must face this is the consequence of doing this. You must do that. But it's not in the grooming years. And if you are grooming a child and the child is still trying to find this or fit, but when you have a hardened criminal or a hardened child, there are children that look at the case of a child, of a high school student that raped his teacher, killed the teacher. Wow. These are the cases they have in the West,
Yes.
And we must be very careful not to imbibe and bring it here. That's where balance comes. So you see your child, he goes to someone's house and beats the skin of the child, and you are still gentle parenting the child. That one is no longer gentle parenting. I will drag you to the police station, and they will do what they need to do to you. Even if the police station is not needed, we will go to the police station.
So you can understand the consequences.
Yes, you understand. There's a level
of what you're feeling.
Yeah, that's why I say it's contextual, but it's not for your child that did not wash plate, or your child that kicked your TV and it broke by mistake, out of play, or your child that does not listen. You are saying, go and sleep, go and do this. That is not it. I'm talking of children that poison other children. Do you know there are children that poison other children's food?
Yes.
It's not about children that have started going into wrong sexual associations.
That also.
You become very strict with such. Yeah, it's another topic. I don't think you should bring it into. That's another extreme. Yeah.
There are times when gentle parenting just will not.
It will not work for
like you said. You have to actually do.
You see your child that is misbehaving seriously, that is hurting other children, that is bullying other children. Bullies have mothers, bullies have fathers.
They do.
True. And if you say you are not gentle parenting, and whatever parenting you are doing, and your child is a bully, it is a failed parenting approach that you have. So if you have a bully, you take the bully after you have tried to talk to the bully. You have explained consequences. You have explained. You take the bully to school and tell everybody that he is a bully.
Public
tomorrow he will stop trying to.
This is what they usually do. They bring you in front of assembly.
That's what many people don't realize. Yeah. If you're gentle parenting, at least let the child understand the consequences of their actions.
There must be consequences.
Many people I feel like.
And when you notice you are your child is becoming, I don't know the word to, is becoming sociopaths. We are now breeding sociopaths. Nice. A lot of parents. Children that when the maids come, they will deal with the maids. Have you seen such children?
Yes, they
exist. Deal with the maid. And some of them, they are dealing with the maid, you are there.
You not say anything because you're paying salary.
You are breeding a sociopath. You are nurturing a sociopath. In future, you will do. And some parents, it's just a whole lot of things.
Yeah,
we shouldn't enable such, regardless of the approach of parenting.
What about age? When it comes to the age that the child is acting up like that,
just like you said before,
you said there are ages where they are still trying to grow. But what if a growing child is exhibiting certain characters like this?
Like, this being a sociopath and being a psychopath. These two things. One thing about parenting generally is that you must be present.
Okay.
You will know. You see those sociopath parents, when they say she killed, or psychopath, he killed, they know.
Yeah.
They have seen the signs.
Yes.
But they ignored it.
That's true.
You will know. Your child is autistic, you know.
Yes.
When the child goes to class and he eats people, it's a violence type. And they call you, he's always hitting. And you say, no. You are breeding something else. Despite the fact that the child has autism, you are enabling another, kind of character that the child will develop into a monster. Yes, so we cannot be enablers. We cannot be enablers. So you will know when the child is not doing age appropriate. A 2-year-old should shout. If your 2-year-old is not shouting, we advise you to go to the hospital.
Yes.
A 3-year-old should run around and destroy things in the house. And if he's not doing that, he's not climbing, and we need to know: is the child milestones? Is he reaching? If your child is not misbehaving and you tell your child do this and the child just does it, you should be afraid. Yes.
This is serious.
You should know that. Are you sure how is this child thinking? What is the thinking? What's going on in this child's life? You should be afraid. So you will know. Yeah, you will know.
Oh wow, nice. So I think she already asked something like this, but many new parents struggle with gentle parenting and implementing it.
Yes.
So how do they try to navigate this? How can you just give a little bit of advice for we youngins who are trying to
adopt gentle parenting?
Try to
as a teacher, I know how frustrated I was doing this gentle parenting.
It is not easy. It's not easy, honestly. Some children will push you,
frustrate
and sometimes even when they're just being children, your attitude, your anger alone as a person is there. So how do you? Can you please just give a bit of advice? Exactly. When you think of your salary,
like
you
all
get
this stress for small money.
You just get angry, please. You just hit the child unknowingly. You just slap.
I had a teacher that just hated me because I was not just fine, and I was not paying school fees as I went due.
You see, you're not paying, and then as a
her.
teacher, I knew the children that were not paying school fees, so they used to anger me even more. I thought not really like a mushroom school, but it wasn't such a big school. So you know that this is the child that is paying your salary. So you're just angry. I don't want to mention this, but I'm really sorry. So you're just angry. So how do we actually navigate this as young people who are trying to start out in gentle parenting?
Okay, I will still say again, get knowledge. Second, you need to heal from your traumas. It's an ongoing process. But if we don't heal from our traumas as knowledgeable adults or as adults, you are going to transfer whatever it is that you are feeling onto the child. Yes. So you need to know your triggers. Find out what, like me, when I was telling you about my issue with submissive, I know where it is from. I can trace it, and I know how I work on it, or I'm combating it. You need to know that, I get triggered because I'm angry. There's no money. That is the reason why, when there's no money in the house, the atmosphere changes.
It's different.
Your children. So I tell my daughter, there was a day she asked me, I said, I'm looking for, do you know what I'm looking for right now? It's not what you are, we don't, and she just laughed. She said, Mommy, what you're looking for, what I'm looking for, is not the same thing. The reason she was able to laugh it out is because we have had discussions where I told her, when I'm looking for money, my eyes are red. And see, at that time, I'm not even hearing what you're saying. So sometimes I say, I know you are not just in the mood. I know you are not just ready to hear me now. I know I'm being a nuisance to you right now. Then later when I see that, it's becoming too extreme, I call her and say, sorry, I was like this. You need to learn to be apologetic towards the kids. Yes. But to answer your question, get knowledge. You need knowledge on these things. I wanted to say that tantrum issue, it was because I read it before then on a group that I am in, a parenting group, that is how to deal with tantrums, because this allowed them to feel their big emotions, because if you shut their big emotions, that's where some of us are having trauma from. Like you said, we cannot express our big emotions. So allow that child to express the big emotion, and then afterwards we will call her and say, you shouted at Mommy, you shouted at Daddy, or you were shouting outside. That's not the way to behave. In this house, we don't behave like that. That's one word that doesn't leave my mouth when I'm talking to my little girl in this house. So she begins to know that this is it's acceptable on YouTube. It's not acceptable in this house. At the time she would come and say, Mommy. And they're like, in this house, you don't behave like that. So you need to get knowledge. When you get knowledge, be patient with yourself.
With yourself.
Oh, wow. Because there will be slips. There will be slips. Be patient with yourself. Know that you are not perfect on this journey. And then make sure you don't allow it slip under do the right thing immediately. If you made a mistake, you yell, you beat, you did things that you're not supposed to do, your conscience will tell you as a parent. Especially in our time now that we now know there's something called gentle parenting. You are owning your feelings and your act towards the child, but you are still firmly establishing the behavior that you want to see in the child.
Okay, to just add to it, do you think always apologizing to your child will help that child if the child does something wrong and you spank the child? Do you think apologizing always to that child? Because growing up, our parents, of course, they never apologize. So do you think this style of parenting...
So your parents do? You are Gen Z. You are not in that generation.
Do you think it can actually help the child in the long run?
There are skills to this thing that you will learn along the way. Being over apologetic to a child makes them act in another way that we are not talking about today. And that's why we have spoiled children in our classrooms. If you have 30 children right now, you are almost sure that 20 are spoiled. They want you to pick them. If you don't pick them, it's an issue.
Stay there.
You must say sorry. You must beg them. No, that's not gentle parenting. That's permissive parenting.
Okay.
But when you do something, I don't want to say hit, but maybe you let's use hit. You hit the child for doing something wrong. It's not to come and tell, sorry, I hit you.
Okay.
It's to make the child know that I acted in a manner I'm not supposed to act. I'm supposed to be more knowledgeable in doing this thing. There's a way you will communicate to the child that I didn't do what I ought to do in correcting you. This is my aim. but I missed it. So that the child too in future, we know that when I miss my aim, I should correct it. My pastor says something, my bishop says something. Sorry is not sorry. It's not the word. Sorry is not SORRY. Sorry is a change in attitude.
Yeah.
So when my child says that tomorrow, when I'm correcting her, I am more in control of my emotions. She knows that I did something, she did something that I ought to yell and be very angry, but I am more in control, but at the same time, I am not permissive. I'm raising a strong child. I'm raising a resilient child, and I'm raising a child that will also tomorrow be empathetic. What empathetic means is that you do not dismiss any feelings. So you're angry. It's okay to be angry. That's why I tell her. Sometimes you're angry. Mommy, I will cry. It's okay to cry. Sometimes you cry. Yes.
And our parents will be like, why are you putting your mouth?
That's mouth.
You won't cry.
Yeah.
Shebi, you won't cry. You won't cry. I go give you cry. Give me that cake there.
You can't even cry.
I go give you cry. That cry we won't cry. Don't worry.
It's okay to cry, but when you are done crying, do the right thing.
And now I feel like crying.
You can cry, don't worry.
A lot of adults need to recover from the trauma that our parents dealt us.
Many of us need to actually.
A lot of us
need to heal. Before we start parenting,
yes,
we need to heal. And that's why I tell people that being a parent it goes beyond bringing a child to the world. It goes beyond that. If you have not healed as a person, I don't think you should have children. It's not really about finances or whatever. You can have all the money in the world, but if you are not ready to parent, don't bring a child, because
that's so true.
Last, what you raise, not who, but what you raise, Lord knows.
You don't want to know.
People tend to parent children differently. Sometimes some people say, oh, the last born does not get the same version of the same parent, person, but different versions of parenting. People parent a boy child different from the way they parent the boy child. They parent their first child different from the way they parent their last child and all of that. So why do you think people do that, especially for the gender? Why do people train the male child differently from the female child, and should it be encouraged or discouraged?
Okay, why is because of societal expectation, societal behavior, the norm, what we all know. So the boy child is king, so to speak, and the girl child is the servant. Yeah. So you want to train your servants to know how to do the chores perfectly. You want to train your servants like girl to be able to serve, and then the boy should know how to demand and exercise his authority, and that's what was passed on to my generation especially, but it's changing in this Gen Z and, whatever generation. My child keeps telling me they plenty names, generation X, she keeps telling me she's Gen Z and...
she's a slash and Gen Z.
So I said, okay. So what am I saying is that now these children, even at 10 years old, they are demanding for their rights. They're like, why should he be treated differently? And they're not saying it like us that we could not say it out. We were questioning it in our mind, but society was but now they are like, no, all that they're exposed to. So why? It's because of society. And should it be encouraged? No. Children are children. Boy or girl, they are children. They are to be guided. And that's why we are parents. Also, roles now, there are no roles. That's why I tell people now again, there are no gender roles anymore. You can be a man and you are the one at home. You are the one babysitting, you are the one cooking. There are men like that. It's strange to the African man. I was telling somebody, do you watch Bluey? the dad in Bluey is strange to the African man. Yes. How will you be rolling on the floor? Your children are rolling all over you.
And that's why some people say they won't let their children watch you.
As a father, when I come in, I should command the president that they all stand at attention, even without me saying stand at attention. And until I say at ease before they are at ease. So the society we are in, we are still not so ready about these role things. But I tell people, the world these children are going to engage in, what happens when even they might not need to travel out of Africa or Nigeria, but something changed and the wife needs to be the one going there. So you will not clean the poop. You wait till the wife comes back. So you will not wash the plate. You wait till she comes back. So you will not take care of the child. You call her to leave her job and come and take care of a sick child. We need to prepare the children that there are no gender roles. What matters is being responsible to self and to others. Is what matters the most. How you want to do it, I don't know.
Meaning people should not parent according to gender.
You can't parent according to gender. Parent the child. As a child, the child needs to eat in future. Let him learn how to cook.
Yes, they are survival skills.
Whether child, boy or girl.
Regardless.
If you know that the child needs to take care of his or her body, private part, and teach the child. Do we teach a male child to eat more than the female child?
No. They can naturally
but we just find out that they can naturally eat. Okay, so you naturally eat more. You should learn how to cook more and wash plates more.
I like that.
Bring out the dirt more.
Yes.
Help more.
Because you are eating.
We did not train you to. Why are you depending on another? Why are we training men to be incapacitated right from birth?
Depending on another person to live.
God gave you the strength to carry 2 cement bags, but you live all your day without carrying nothing. The mother carries the 2 children. We are going out to church. You batch one, hold one. For you have the energy freely. You have the energy. God created. Why are we incapacitating men at birth?
It really needs to change.
It does.
You have the energy. Why can't you use it? What says that we both went out and we come back home and you lie down and I get to cook?
We both went to work.
We both went out.
We both went to hustle.
And then you go
now,
lie down.
That's what somebody say. Women, we are thinking many things. I think many things every day.
Yes.
We do.
Stop looking.
I have big girl job.
I have female billionaires.
Yeah.
They think many things. Yes. But they're still expected that from that many things.
They'll still cook.
Do domestic work.
Okay.
We need to make
men should do better. Parents should do better.
Parents should do
better. Train your male child the same way
you train your domestic chores.
And even more because he has more energy.
Yes, actually.
Yes. I wrote something about toilets. All the men here.
Okay.
If you don't wash your toilet, you are wrong.
I'm a champion in that.
If you wee you finish weeing and you have splash of wee, it will smell. You need to know what to do. We shouldn't enter your house because your girlfriend or your sister or your mother did not wash the toilet. Everywhere is stinking. That is unhygienic. That means you are a dirty person. Why will I want to teach my child to be that?
Because he's a boy.
Because he's a boy. To be that unhygienic, live in that unhygienic situation.
And when you tell them, they will say he's a man.
He's a man. Now. Marry a woman that will clean the house. People will tell their children, their daughters, don't you know your brother is a man?
And do you know that the age that these people are in now, this Gen Z, marriage is becoming something that is not...
tiring to them.
It's not common.
It's not something they want to get involved
in. Some of them will be 40.
Yes.
Some of them, before they get married, some will
even
get married.
A lot don't even care.
Okay, you now say that you get help. Do you know that people that travel abroad, some of them is cleaning toilets and washing food, and they are men. But you did not do it. Well, when you come back to Africa, you
start from you
after washing toilet abroad.
It's called being responsible to self. We just need to teach children, be responsible to yourself first. Yeah. Then you in turn will be responsible to the society at large.
So, can we read the anonymous story for you to give me take on? Okay. My 11-year-old son is in boarding school, and I am caught between two sides. His boarding master keeps calling to complain about his behavior. Sometimes it's about disobedience, other times it's about missing prep or not following school rules. On the other hand, my son also complains about the way some boarding staff treat him, saying they are too harsh, unfair, and don't listen to his side of the story. As a parent, I want to discipline my child when he is wrong, but I also don't want to ignore his feelings if he is genuinely struggling. I don't know whom to believe or how to handle this situation. Should I side with the school or should I trust my son? What should I do?
Okay, so this is gentle parent practical. Because, the child's feelings are valid. You are not there. Believe the child for what he's saying.
Okay.
Because in most cases, at that age, all things being equal, the child, when pushed to the wall, will tell you exactly how he feels.
Yes.
Will not try to paint the other side wrong while is wrong in most cases. And even if it does try to paint the other side bad, as a parent, you should know your child. So if the form master tells you that the child stole, that child did not start stealing in school.
Yes.
You should have said that the child was stealing at home. So as a parent, it's for you to now say, okay, we are going to work on it. So you call your child and do all that you need to do to make the child come out of that. But if the child says he's misbehaving and acting up because of the way some people are treating him, two things involved. Validate the child's feeling, then help the child to have the right attitude to such things. Like I tell my child, so there are children that used to talk back at her, talk bad to her. And I used to tell her when she was around 6, 7, 8, I said, he doesn't know better. If he knows better, he won't do that. Don't concern yourself with whatever he or she is saying. He doesn't know better. But it changed when she is now 10.
Okay.
And I told her, tell her or him, you're doing something wrong and I don't like it. Stop talking to her or him. So these are the things we do to make her express our own not liking what the other person is doing. Then if it's a teacher, this is it. You do not have any reason to act in any way inappropriate in school. There should be no reason you will be caught doing something wrong in school. If your teacher calls to complain, you are going to explain why you were there in that situation at all. So right now, I'm building responsibility. Like, you need to be responsible for your actions or inactions. So if your teacher calls to complain about you, you must have given the teacher something, because they will not pick the best, the most quiet, they will not pick to come and complain about. You must have, no matter how little, you must have given the teacher something. And that is what we need to work on. Do not be in such a space. And that's it. So you need to help, that parent needs to help the child to bring himself out of that situation of having attitude issues with the teachers or having them complain about that, and then also validate the child's feeling that the child is feeling all this bad treatment or wrong treatment. Well, yes, and then there are ways you can channel that. It's either we go report whoever is doing that. It's either we remove the child from the school if it's that, we must do something about that, not just dismiss it. But also we should let the child know that it is not enough for you to now become, unruly. Yeah. So
this has been a very, very insightful. I don't have kids, and I was really like, okay, how will I like this episode? And I've loved it so far. I've really loved it so far. I wish we could actually continue. And we've come to the end of this amazing episode of Unscripted Seat. I want to thank the wonderful co-host Edafe, the Mouthpiece, and Debby, not excluding myself also. And our very beautiful and smart guest today. Yeah. She's such, oh God, honestly, I don't even know what to say. She's so full of knowledge. And she's been so insightful. We have the beautiful Tolulope Efeturi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. And we want to thank our wonderful sponsors, Ico Gas and Uwawa Restaurant, Cherish Empire, Adis Glam, and Wigs by Nikki. And so we've come to the end of this episode. Bye.